Welcome to Dragonfly Trading. My name is Carrie, and I'm a full-time trader in the crypto and Forex markets. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a long one, but it'll be worth it. Stick with me. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is just the way that I see the market. Not showing my face today because I'm on vacation visiting my son and I'm on a military base, and I am not allowed to show my location. All right, so let's get started. We're going to do a little bit of a different analysis today. There will be some Elliott Wave involved, but Elliott Wave is not the only tool used in my system. Okay, so if you are interested in learning my system, the link is in the description below for the Discord. But soon my course will be launched. It will be very affordable, and I hope it brings a lot of education experience for a lot of people. All right, let's get started. I am on the monthly time frame. We're about to close a monthly candle here in 5 days. This monthly candle is extremely important. One, as you can see, it is hanging on to the 20 MA for dear life. In the past, on the monthly time frame, losing the 20 has not been a very good thing. Now, we have always held on to the 50 and closed above it. We've wicked through it, but we always manage to come back up and close above it. If we lose the 20, and we're very close to that, I feel we will drop down to approximately where the 50 is. We may wick through it, but that's sitting right at 20K at the top of the 2018 bull run. RSI on the monthly time frame has never lost the 40, but when we lose the 50, we go into a pretty extensive bear market. When we lost it here, as you can see, we went into a pretty extensive bear market. When we lost it here is when the next candle capitulated. Actually, it was the capitulation candle is when we lost it. Here, we barely lost it, but that's when we dumped really hard. So we are very close to the 50 here on the monthly time frame. We're not quite to it yet, but it's something that we don't want to lose. If we were to dump down to the 50, we want the weekly, or I'm sorry, the monthly to hold this 50. We don't want to lose it. But we have never lost the 40. Okay? We've always held in this bullish range. 40 to 50 is a bullish range. So as long as the monthly stays in the bullish range, Bitcoin is still bullish. Losing the 40 would be devastating. But if history is going to repeat itself, we shouldn't lose it. And we do have the bottom of the band sitting in the bullish range. Okay, let's move on. The weekly time frame. I have got the 100 underneath us, the 200, and the 300. As you can see in prior history, let me move this up a little bit. When we lost the 100, we dropped 55%. Now, we never lost the 200. We always closed above it. We wicked through it, but we always closed above it. Here, when we lost the 100, we came down 46%, but we held the 200. Here, when we lost it, we came down 46%. We wicked through to the 300, but came back up and closed above the 200. If we were to lose the 100, which is again sitting at let's see, it is sitting at approximately 36,200. It's hard to get it precise, but approximately 36,200. If we lose the 100 and drop down, worst case scenario, I think that we would wick down to the 300, but come back and close above the 200. That is what we have done all of history. The 200 is sitting at 20,000, right at the top of this prior 2017 bull run. Okay, so can we hold the 100? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But if we lose it, I think we will drop down to the 200. It's just a, do we wick down to the 300 and close above it? Or do we hold 200 like we've done in the past? But again, worst case scenario, we have never broke 300, the blue one. But losing the 100, it will get ugly. Okay. Now, let's talk about RSI on the weekly. Every time we lose 40 is when we have the massive drop. Over here, when we lost 40 and the 100, down we went. Here, when we lost the 100 and the 40, down we went. Right here, when we lost the 40 and the 100, down we went. We are sitting very close to the 40. And we're sitting very close to the 100. The whole question is, can we hold it? If we don't, then down we go. I don't mean to seem bearish, but I'm just making you aware of the situation Bitcoin is in right now. Moving on. Okay, so there's something that I want to talk about. We could basically go over this count 100 times and come up with probably 100 different opinions. It's not an easy count to get a strong bias on. Yes, we could say that a very simple way is to say that this is a 1 and a 2. This is the longest wave, believe it or not. This one right here. It doesn't look it, but it is. 3, 4, 5, and that's our third. And we need a fourth and a fifth. But we could ponder it and come up with a lot of different opinions. But let's talk about this area in here just for a minute, because we have never overlapped a prior top with a bear market. We've never overlapped it. So when this came down, it never overlapped this top. When this one came down, it never overlapped this top. So if we're going to lose the 100 and we're going to come down and we're going to overlap this top, what does it mean? In my opinion, now remember, this is my opinion, that if we are going to drop and overlap, I feel that we're in the nest of third and fourth waves. What do I mean by that? When you get your main 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in yellow, you have inner degree thirds and fourths. Inner degree thirds and fourths, when you're coming into the main third wave, they overlap each other. So you get a third and a fourth, which is your main, your lower degree. Okay. Then you get your fifth to the upside. I'm talking about brown here. That leads into the white. Over here, if this was the third and the fourth in brown, and all of this was a fifth, it would lead into the third in white. If we overlap this third, it's because we're making this white fourth, and a white fourth likes to come into the prior fourth wave territory, which would make sense here. So the white fourth would like to come into the prior third and fourth territory. It would push up for the fifth that we're looking for. That would lead into yellow third. Then yellow third's fourth wave would come back into white's territory. And then we would push up for another fifth wave up into astronomical numbers. So in my opinion, if we are going to lose the 100 and we're going to come down for the first time ever into a prior top bull run, I feel that this is probably the case, that we're making 3s and 4s. I hope that this makes sense for you. All right. Let's get into the counts real quick here. Bear with me, we have a lot to go through. We know that the triangle's still on the table. But I feel the only way that this is going to happen is if this move right here is a 5-wave move. I don't like it as a 5-wave move, but I'm not saying that it isn't a 5-wave move. And we'll talk about it and break it down when we get a little closer. But basically this whole middle, okay, would have to be a connector. And we would have to push to the upside without hitting this trend line. And we would have to say that the move in the middle is an A, a B, and a C for a flat. A running flat, which is perfectly fine. But we're going to have to hold this higher low as a running flat and push to the upside for the triangle, okay? I have an alternate count where this wave comes deeper. The wave that we're currently in. It can even break the low, go into what we call the expanded B pocket, put it on there real quick. Okay. The first fib level is 0.05 because it has to break the bottom by 5% to be qualified to be expanded B. Now, it doesn't have to break the bottom, okay? It can totally hold and then push up. But it's basically saying that what we have here in the middle is an expanded flat that could come down, shock us all, and then come up with, sweep these lows here, take all this liquidity, make everybody think that it's breaking down, and then up it goes. It wouldn't be the triangle because it would invalidate it, and it would still be an X wave, meaning that we would still come down in this count. It's just that the X would move over. Okay. If it got up high enough, then we could call it also a B wave. But we have a lot of resistance above us, and it would just depend on could it get through it. Okay. Does it get stuck here? Become a bearish running flat? Does it get stuck here? still a running flat, or can it push through it and make a bigger X wave for us? All right, so that's still on the table. If we are not going to hold this wave and say that we're still going to use this leg like this, whether it comes deeper or it doesn't, and push to the upside, that is the last really hope that we can get a relief rally. I know that some still have this count on the table, that this is a 1. All of this is making a 2. And that we could do 3, 4, 5. That is still on the table. And I'm going to keep it on the table until we break this low. Because it could very well surprise us all. And this is just a drawn out 2. And this is just a 1 wave that didn't hit the targets that it should. I've seen it before. It very well could happen. So this bullish count stays on the table until we break this low. Okay? But this is the only bullish count that there is, other than the triangle, if we can make it up there for it. All right, let's talk about one other count that would shock everybody. All right. You can see that we have the last bit of support that's coming in right here. Okay. Obviously, we've got this resistance is above us that we got to get through. But I'm going to turn this off now to make it a more clean chart. When I pull a fib extension, like this whole thing is a complex correction, and I pull an extension W, X, Y in yellow, we've got the 1-to-1 coming in at 30,900. When I pull a fib extension, like we're making a W, an X, and a Y, that's the way I see this. I don't see it as a 5-wave move, but this is just my bias. The white 618 is coming in very close to the yellow 1-to-1. Now this leg would have to truncate because the 618 would be a truncation, but it could happen. Then when I pull a fib extension on just this leg, the Y leg in brown, the 1-to-1 is coming in again right there. Then when I pull a fib extension on this last little part, which it would have to do a zigzag, meaning that this 5 waves would be an A, we'd rally for a B, not breaking this high, and come down for a C. Look where blue's coming in. They're all coming in right there in that green support, the last little bit of support we have there. And I feel that when the C would be coming down, it would get everyone bearish because C waves are aggressive waves. Okay, they look very bearish. And there is a potential that we could hold here and be done. Because the rules of alternation, let me go to this chart. The rules of alternation, if we were to come down deeply, say we were to wick all the way down here. If your 2 wave, if we're calling this a wave 2, if your 2 wave is extremely deep, which this one was, I mean, it came so close to breaking the bottom. So this is a very deep wave. You would assume that your 4th would be shallow with the rules of alternation. So deep 2, shallow 4. But, you know, those are guidelines. But if we did come all the way down, we still would stay out of our 1. And that is the goal here, is to stay out of this 1. Okay? All right, so the last thing we're going to take a look at is the DXY, because Bitcoin and the DXY are inverse right now. Okay. I'm up on the 3-month. Okay. And what I want to show on the 3-month is breaking these highs right here. The DXY's got some pretty clear skies. Okay. The monthly has no bearish divergence right now. And that's not very good for Bitcoin. Okay, but let's talk about it. Moving down to the monthly time frame. The monthly has no bearish divergence. Now, yeah, it's way up there, but that's kind of a bullish thing for the DXY. Okay. All right, let's talk about what it could be doing. This wave to the upside is an ABC. All of DXY and Forex, they all move in corrections. Now, their corrections are huge, but they're all corrective moves connected together. So we have an ABC to the upside, and then we have a zigzag in the middle here. I've been down in there, very close. I know what it is. It's a zigzag. So I see this move as a connector. And the question is it connecting, which it is connecting, this leg to the connector, and it's going to give it a partner leg. And I told you that it has clear skies above it. Now remember, we're up on the monthly, okay? The only question here is it going to make connector bigger? And the only way that it can do that is if this move to the upside is corrective. And right now, to me, it does not look corrective. It more looks impulsive. Which means to me that it's starting this partner leg. But look at all the swings in there, guys. So it's not going to just go straight up to the moon, okay? It's got to correct itself. So I'm more leaning that it is making the partner leg now. And this would turn into 3 waves A, or I'm sorry, W, 3 waves X, and then we'd go up for Y. So this would be the first leg of a 3-wave move. So when this is over, it would correct down, give Bitcoin a chance to rally, tremendously rally. And then when it turns to the upside again, Bitcoin would dump. Okay. Let's look at this leg. The C wave ended here. Okay, it didn't end down here. It ended in a ending diagonal. Okay. I see a wave 1, a wave 2. I don't think 3 is in yet. 4 and 5 to go. The inner third wave, we have a 1 and a 2, a 3 and a 4, and this is getting an overextended 5th wave. The way that you target an overextended 5th wave is pulling from 0, which is at the bottom of 1, to the top of 3 to 4, and you're targeting the 1. If it gets past it, then you're targeting the 1.618. This is where I feel third will end. When the 4th wave comes, it will give Bitcoin a chance to rally. Hopefully at that point, Bitcoin can rally for that leg. And then it'll go up for a 5th. And then at that point, it should give a pretty decent correction. Okay, you can draw a trend line like this. When broken, this wave is pretty much over and ready to correct. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it brought you some clarity, and I will see you in the next one.